You are listening to a Called Collective podcast, where we seek to equip the next generation of ministry leaders. The Called Collective produces multiple podcasts, which you can find in the description below. To learn more about the Called Collective, visit our website at thecalledcollective.org or check us out on Instagram at The Called Collective.
Hi, and welcome back to Coffee and Calling. My name is Levi.
And I'm Paula.
We are so excited to have you back. It's been a while.
It has, but don't worry, guys. We missed you, and we missed doing this. That's why we're back today with a very special guest.
Super special.
So special.
We have with us today
Micheal Zolman.
the Zolman, as
Okay.
people have called him.
Yes,
one calls
so
Me.
that's his new nickname. We just gave it to him.
Yeah.
So we do have a fun question for you today,
Let's hear
and Levi has the question.
Our fun question is, when you get to heaven, what is an obscure, weird request that you will have that you never got to do on this earth? You can do anything. There's no pain. It's just joy. You can do anything. You ride an animal. You can, meet a certain person. What's
you could
your
ride
request?
an animal.
I think I'm gonna go with riding on a T-Rex.
A T-Rex.
I have this theory that
Yeah, dinosaurs didn't make it to
dinosaurs
heaven,
didn't
so okay.
exist.
Oh,
Wow.
so you're like
So-
God.
if he's there, I'm riding him.
Can we
I want to
actually
ride that T-Rex.
talk about dinosaurs, because it's a conundrum in
Okay.
my brain.
All right.
Because I see the fossils. Okay. I know they existed, but
Yeah.
also
Do you?
I don't know. So I've always been so, I just don't think about it too much because
Yeah.
it's hard for me to conceptualize.
My favorite thing about atheism is that they use the excuse of the dinosaur history to be like, there can't be a God. Oh yeah, when were there dinosaurs? And like that ends the conversation. I'm like, okay,
All right.
good
That's a good
excuse. Anywho,
I actually love that question because I think about the question of what you would do when you go to heaven. I think about that all the time. Because when I was little, I said I would want to go to the moon. But hang out on the moon and then go to like planet hopping.
oh,
That's what I wanted to do.
interesting.
But I still think about it and I still want to do it.
Anything specific you do on the moon?
I just want to check it out,
Just chill out.
see if it's real.
That's,
See if it's
oh, okay. We have a lot of
you
doubts
can see
here.
if it's real from here, though.
We got a lot of doubts in the
What do you guys think
room.
about the moon landing?
Yeah, I want to swim with an orca. That's my thing that I want to do.
Oh, I guess you won't get eaten.
You won't get eaten.
Why specifically an orca?
Okay, well, I've been to SeaWorld. Cancel me, okay?
Yeah, you're canceled.
All right, so, and I've seen a documentary about people who would swim, like instructors who have tamed these great animals,
Isn't that
would swim with them, and they'd, like, take them for a ride, and it was just the coolest thing ever. They would be, like, 30 feet down in the pool, just, like, hang on to their little fins. It seemed like a good time.
okay? I can respect that.
Sounds like a good time.
But isn't that documentary you talking about like Blackfish?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it cancels
No,
SeaWorld.
I understand.
Okay.
I just thought it was cool.
That is cool.
But T-Rexes. Interesting
Back to our
take.
special guest.
Hey.
Interesting take.
I gotta know.
Well, Micheal, will you tell us a little bit about yourself? Just tell us what you do, what your major is. You have any jobs, any random things that you would love to share with the world?
Absolutely. So I'm a sophomore here at IWU. I'm a youth and pastoral ministry major. Did not come in that way, but I'm sure we'll get to that in a bit. I'm on the track and field team. I throw hammer. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's pretty fun.
You throw hammers?
It's terrifying sometimes.
That's
Okay.
frightening.
Not like
Is it a
the-
hammer-like
not like the
figure?
construction hammer,
Right.
But like
Does it look
a
like
shot
it?
put on a wire.
Oh, I know exactly what you're
Yeah.
talking
There's
about.
a handle
What?
on the end, spinning circles.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like discus, but it's a ball It's like that's how I imagine David taking down Goliath.
Yeah.
Oh.
Slingshot.
Okay.
We'll go
So
with
if we ever have a Goliath,
This
we know
is
who
your
to call.
guy.
This
Call
is
me
our
up.
David.
Okay.
that. But yeah, I work a little bit with Charlie Alcock on campus with some warehouse stuff, managing his equipment for different ministry opportunities. And then I'm also an RA in Chem Hall here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Chem Hall,
Chem Hall.
the best. Until it's
Fun
not.
place.
Until
Yeah.
Until you're there
not.
too long.
Yeah.
Like in my case.
Signed up for year 2, so let's
So
go.
fun. So you said you didn't come in as youth and pastoral ministry
Yeah.
major. Take us through that journey. What did you come in as?
Wow, that's quite the journey. So I declared as social studies ed before I even got to IWU. I wanted to be a history teacher and a coach, the typical athlete.
I can see
life
that. Yeah, I
plan.
can see
Yep,
that.
Yep.
It's a great
and
life.
My ultimate goal was athletic director. Out
Okay.
of that,
Wow.
high school athletic director. Got to school. I think I changed to sports management before I even got here.
Oh.
So I started classes first semester of my freshman year in sports management, and honestly just didn't really know why I was in them. Like it wasn't the education that I was looking for, but I didn't really know what I wanted. But I have a background working with elementary students through kids ministry at my church. So I switched to elementary education, and I switched to that before second semester. So I was in my elementary ed classes for like 2 days, maybe.
Oh.
I went to math for elementary teachers, and I said, this is not for me.
Oh goodness.
So I actually started looking at the different majors that IWU had and ended up seeing youth ministry, and I was like, I could see myself doing that.
Mhm.
And so I changed from there.
Wow. So it seems like this whole time you've had this whole like trajectory of it's always been leading towards kids and towards youth, but
Yeah.
it just like kind of got centralized on leading their faith journey. How do you like, was there like this thing that the Lord brought you through, or like what was this calling that brought you into realizing like, no, I don't want to teach kids. I don't want to coach kids. I want to pastor kids.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, the calling itself is interesting to I guess it's unique to me because I don't have this like super dramatic story that a lot of people have with their call to ministry. And that's honestly a big part of my story, is that my call is not a huge thing, but more of just like a slight nudging from the Lord. And it really was just like looking through the major list, and like youth ministry was the only thing I had peace with. But looking back, like I can see all of the times that the Lord has used to prepare me for ministry and for that calling. Like I've been serving in the kids ministry at my church since I was in like 7th grade, like right
Wow.
after I got out of it. So just to have that preparation, and then also just having a desire to serve like an older population, like the high school age, just to have deeper relationships. I love working with kids, but I also love having deep conversations and like getting to know people, which you can't really do with a 4th grader.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think people over glorify the dramatic calling story.
Totally.
And I think what should be exalted and glorified is obeying the small nudge.
Yeah.
Like that takes faith. I mean, my story is dramatic, and it didn't take a lot of faith. I was like, God intervened, and that's my story. This is clearly what I have to do.
Yeah.
That didn't take much faith. And I still have doubts with my calling. It's like, it was pretty evident that God was there. So can you speak to, like, do you ever have that doubt of, is this really the path for me? Is this really what God has told me to do?
Yeah, I think that it definitely comes up, especially just with the nature of my calling. But I just try to remind myself that like a calling from the Lord is never something to be ashamed of. Like the way he calls us, like we don't get to decide the way he calls us, but we do get to decide how we respond to it and how we live faithfully after that. So just reminding myself of that, like no matter how he called me, he's called me, and I have to respond in obedience to that.
I think there's so many students out there who are waiting for this dramatic call from the Lord, because I mean, in scripture we see a lot of dramatic callings from the Lord. We see a lot of dramatic Saul to Paul moments, and even in like the big pastors and the speakers, they've had these big moments, and so a lot of students are waiting for their big moment, but then they don't realize they're living their calling and they're living what God is asking them to do. Like if you're serving in ministry and you're waiting for God to call you into children's ministry, maybe you are already called into it and you're just needing to submit to like the fact that you're already in it, or just something that. Like people are waiting for a calling that has already like been spoken and already been said, and it's just like about listening and submitting. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that. And I think that sometimes the large amount of small moments can make you feel even more confident in your calling than one big moment.
Yeah.
Just to have those like reoccurring things of like, oh, like this random person asked me if I would be interested in doing ministry here. And then like something like my story where you see like youth ministry on a major list, or somebody tells you about IWU and like, wow, they have a great ministry program. Like just little things like that, but that are recurring can almost like make you feel more confident in your calling than one big moment. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
What gets you excited about youth ministry?
Yeah, I think just the heart that this generation has for the Lord is super encouraging. And then also just to have the experience of like, I was working with NTS camp this summer, and to see every week like hundreds of kids giving their life to the Lord for the first time, or like rededicating their life to the Lord, like it's so inspiring to me, and it's inspiring honestly to my own faith too. Like going through the summer, I was like, wow, like I think I stray away from like the importance of that first commitment, like giving your life to the Lord is such an important thing to do. And I think the further we get from that moment in our life, we tend to get even more like complacent with where we're at. And it's just so important to like be reminded of that. Like there are people that are like starting this journey for the first time, and just reminding ourselves of like where we were in that first time when we gave our lives to the Lord. So I just think it's so cool to see just the new commitments, but also just the discipleship that can happen in the younger generation, and just empowering them in the same way that I've been poured into in my life too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's encouraging to hear your story, because I think even the word calling has maybe been diluted to this dramatic occasion of God revealing a specific thing to do. And I don't think that's the nature of the word. And maybe we even need to change the word from calling to just simple commitment. Because I mean, when I listen to your story, it's not dramatic callings. It's just small commitments after small commitments. And that's what faithfulness looks like. So I'm super encouraged.
Yeah. It's the quote, I don't even know if this is by a famous person or by Caleb Stout, but long obedience in the right direction is what comes to mind. And like that is oftentimes the story of many. It's the story of you. It's like long obedience in the correct direction, that is your calling. Just obedience.
Yeah, that reminds me of another quote where it says, the worst thing that can happen to you in your life is not failure, but it's succeeding at the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And so long obedience in the right direction, it's so enticing and tempting to stray off this almost mundane, boring life of obedience. But it's the right thing to do. And it's succeeding at the right thing. And it's so tempting to succeed at the wrong thing, and to not do what we were really called to do and commit ourselves to the work that God has for us.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had just some nuggets of advice for high school students, what would it be if they're struggling with this calling, if they want to go into ministry or not?
Yeah, I think the first thing is that you have so much time. Like, I just think of my story, like I didn't get my calling until calling or commitment, whatever we're going to call it now.
Yeah, right. No, I hear you.
I didn't get it until halfway through my freshman year of college. And it's another thing, like we don't get to decide how God calls us, but we also don't get to decide when God calls us. So just listening to that and being obedient to that, but also just listening to the little things, just like my story and so many others, just continue to lean into that and prayerfully discern those things, and to not ignore them. Like, I think that that's the biggest thing is like, it's the hard thing with the little things is they're easier to ignore. So just avoiding ignoring those things and finding someone to talk to about them, finding someone to talk through these little things. And then also just not, like I said earlier, just not being ashamed with the way you've been called or when you've been called, and just really leaning into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want you to speak to that confirmation from other people part about calling. Like, how important was it to you that other people saw this in you, and how important is it for these young people to acknowledge that other people are seeing this in me as well?
Yeah, I think that one person, the first one to really affirm my calling was Charlie Alcock. I went to him right away, just recommendation from a friend that he was the guy to get in touch with when I wanted to change my major. Got in touch with him right away, and obviously he didn't know me at all at that point, so there wasn't a lot of affirmation right off the start, but it was just him, like, quick, like, what's your story? Like, why are you wanting to make this switch? And he got me into his classes that semester. And then Charlie's great about giving you opportunities to serve. And that's exactly what he did with me. And Charlie spoke so much life into me and spoke those affirmations over me the rest of that semester and also through the summer. Charlie's actually the reason I had the summer with NTS camp. I had totally different plans for the summer. They were still ministry related, but different. And he got a hold of me and was able to set me up with a pretty unique opportunity for the summer. And just the way that he spoke over me during that time and just affirming me was incredible, especially with that smaller call that's just a lot harder to feel confident in. It was really cool to see how he affirmed me in that. And also, like, one of the biggest things that Charlie talks about in his classes, to know that, like, how you're called, to be confident in that, is others affirming your call. So I think it's super important if you're wrestling with that, if you're struggling with that, to tell people about it. So that way it's not something that you're walking through alone, and that you might even walk up to the first person that you want to talk to about it, whether it's like a parent or a mentor or something, and just have an experience where they tell you, like, wow, like, I've seen this in you for a long time. Like, I just wanted to let the Lord work the way he wanted to work in your life. So yeah, it's super, super important to have that calling in community.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, because without those mentors and without the people in your life that are lifting you up and calling out things that they see in you, you will never know, like, what it is your potential is or what it is that God has called you to. And of course, he can do anything. He can reveal it to you all on your own. But that confirmation from other people is so essential, because there are so many times where we go into things and we go into ministry, into situations, into jobs with no confirmation, but maybe our own, and maybe a misguided understanding of what the Lord is asking us to do. And if we had those mentors and if we had those people in our lives telling us, well, I don't know if this aligns, or like, this is not what the Lord's telling me, like, there's so much, hurt or whatever, such and such, that could be undone. So I think that you encapsulated it perfectly. Like, you have to be with mentors, and you have to be with people who know you and who are older than you. And like, I remember in high school, like, wanting to get feedback from my friends, and that's amazing. Like, yes, get feedback from your Christian friends, but you need feedback from people who are older than you, because there's always going to be someone older, and there's always going to be someone wiser, and you have to have those people in your life, because you are always going to be less wise, younger than somebody. And so always wanting to see that and having a mentorship with someone who is older and wiser.
Yeah, I was about to say, for the people listening, I would warn against finding just any confirmation. Don't just find anybody that's just going to agree with what you want. This is a super serious calling and super serious commitment. And so if you find yourself and you're like, no one's really confirmed my call, no one's really told me that they see me in this, way to observe that, but also look at the people that you're talking to about it. If you're talking to people who aren't spiritually mature, who aren't close with the Lord, then they're not going to see that in you. They're blind to it. And so get close with with some wise counsel, with older pastors who've been around the block that can see it in you, and some mentors. And then also, if you have been receiving confirmation, but it's just from your friends that don't even know that much, go and find a trusted source to find your confirmation from, not just any confirmation.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that it's important to, with ministry specifically, ministry is not something that you necessarily want to be in if you're not called. Because it is not an easy thing to do on anywhere on the spectrum. It's not easy to do. And you really do need a calling to work in full-time ministry.
There's a total difference between calling into vocational ministry and a calling to serve within the church.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every single person is called to serve within the church, and maybe you're extremely passionate about it, but there's a whole difference between being called to serve the church and being called into vocational ministry and to die for the church.
Yeah.
That's so true. Well, Micheal, we kind of finish our shows with just a word of encouragement for you, just something that we see in you. And I just want to confirm your call. You just sound like you are trustworthy, that you are reliable. I've heard so many good things about you, such a good reputation just for knowing the Lord, serving the Lord, and being loyal unto the Lord. And so, and that's what we need. That's what the Lord asks of us, is just loyalty and faithfulness. And so I just wanted to encourage you in that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and just to encourage you as well. I know we don't know each other super well, but you definitely are someone who, it's obvious your character is faithful. And that is just like what stands out to me the most, is that you are faithful, you are loyal, and you are a servant of the Lord, and that He's going to reward that, and He is just proud of you. That's what I'm hearing. He's very proud of you. So, yeah, thank you for being on our podcast. It was very fun. Guys, we tried to do this podcast 3 or 4 times. And we just didn't work out till now.
We're not technologically sound.
That's
we
okay.
literally couldn't figure it out.
But none of these listeners would ever know that.
It happens.
But
So
moment of
it's
honesty and truth. We love to be transparent here.
We do.
Love it.
Well, thanks so much for listening in. We appreciate our listeners so much. You guys are the best, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Deuces.
We'd also like to take a second to thank the School of Theology and Ministry at Indiana Wesleyan University for using their facilities. We want to thank the Call Collective for producing all of our podcasts. The Call Collective seeks to equip the next generation of ministry leaders. To find out more information, visit thecalledcollective.org or check us out on Instagram @thecalledcollective. Thanks for listening again and taking time in your day to have the chance to be formed by the conversations we have over coffee. See you guys next week.